First WTA action reminds Tenny Madis of what it takes to be elite. Manila, Philippines. For half a set, Tenny Madis flashed why she is the #2 Filipina player in her round of 32 clash with Thailand's Manachaya Sawangkaew in the Philippine Women's Open. The tide turned in the second set, though, as Madis absorbed a 6-4, 6-0 loss to exit the country's first ever WTA 125 event. The result stung, but Madis said the experience is still a step forward in her growth. There was a lot of learning. I really need to improve more, said the 18-year-old Madis, who entered the tournament's main draw via wildcard spot. One of the biggest learnings is to have a sharp mentality because just one negative thought could affect your match. So you really need to have a positive mind, she added. Madis rallied from down 2-4 and forced a 4-4 deadlock in the first set before Sawangkaew's composure prevailed as the tie blanked the Filipina the rest of the way. Still, it was a promising showcase for Madis in front of the home crowd following a week of training alongside world number 49 Alex Ila and Filipino-American Mia Horvat. For Madis, playing against someone of Sawangkaew's caliber can push her to be a better player as she heads to the collegiate ranks with the University of Hawaii. It's an honor to play against her, Madis said of Sawangkaew, who lost to Ila in the women's singles finals of the Southeast Asian Games in Thailand in December. She's a good and experienced player. All I can say is that it's a great learning opportunity for me to play with her. Having also faced Madis in the SEA Games, Sawangkaew said the Filipina has improved a lot. Played against her in the SEA Games last time, so this time, she played much better, Sawangkaew said of Madis. I can feel she can be a good player in the future. For now, Madis returns to the Philippine Tennis Academy as she prepares for her next career step. I had many struggles and challenges before the tournament, but it was a great opportunity and privilege to play in such a prestigious tournament, Madis said. I just want to stay and enjoy the process and really be patient. The first thing Tenny Madis noticed wasn't the speed of the ball, though it hissed past her strings like a held breath finally released. It wasn't the crowd either, a low oceanic murmur rising and falling with each rally. It was the quiet between points, the stillness that belonged only to players who had learned, through years of repetition and disappointment, how to control it. This was her first WTA main draw match, and the silence felt heavier than the noise. Tenny had grown up chasing courts the way other kids chased ice cream trucks. Municipal hard courts with cracks that bent the bounce. Dusty clay where lines faded by the third game. She had won plenty, junior titles, ITF matches, qualifying rounds that came with hotel rooms and hope, but this was different. The badge on the back wall said WTA, and that single word carried a history of champions, broken rackets, and careers made or unmade by fractions of a second. Her opponent warmed up with economy. No wasted swings. No glances toward the stands. Just clean, unhurried violence through the ball. Watching her, Tenny felt a flicker of awe, and then a correction. Awe was expensive at this level. You paid for it with errors. When the umpire called time, Tenny bounced the ball and told herself the same thing she always did. You belong here. She believed it. Mostly. But belief, she was learning, was only the entry fee. The first rally lasted 12 shots. Tenny moved well, redirected pace, found depth. Then the return came back heavier, deeper, cruelly precise. Her reply clipped the tape and fell back on her side. Point gone. Lesson delivered. Elite tennis, she realized, wasn't about hitting one great shot. It was about surviving the shot that came after it. As the set unfolded, patterns emerged like handwriting. The wide serve that pulled her off the court. The backhand that looked safe until it wasn't. On the changeover, towel over her head, Tenny replayed points not with frustration but with curiosity. The best players, she noticed, weren't rushing. They were choosing. Every decision carried intent. Every step had purpose. In juniors, power could hide impatience. On the ITF circuit, fitness could rescue poor planning. Hey, nothing went unpunished for long. She lost the first set 6-3. The scoreline looked ordinary. The experience did not. Between sets, her coach leaned in and said very little. Earlier preparation. Trust the margin. Then, softer. This is the level. Tenny nodded. She felt oddly calm. Somewhere between the missed opportunities and the sting of reality, a clarity had settled in. This wasn't a rejection. It was an invitation. The second set began with longer rallies. Tenny took the ball earlier, gave herself time by stealing it. She won a game with patience alone, 6 neutral shots, then an opening, then the finish. The crowd noticed. A small cheer followed her to the baseline. For a moment, she glimpsed the version of herself she was chasing. Composed, deliberate, dangerous. But elite players don't let moments linger. Her opponent raised her level again, sliding effortlessly, turning defense into offense with a flick of the wrist. Tenny fought. She saved breakpoints. She ran until her lungs burned and her calves screamed. At 4-4, she played her best game of the match, only to lose it on a forehand that missed by less than a ball's width. That was the margin. When the match ended, a straight sets loss, Tenny shook hands and felt no humiliation, only information. In the locker room, the air smelled of liniment and resolve. Veterans moved quietly, professionally. Wins were noted. Losses were absorbed. No one lingered on emotion longer than necessary. This, too, was part of being elite, the ability to feel deeply and recover quickly. Later, alone with her bag and her thoughts, Tenny wrote a few lines in her notebook. Not tactics, not goals, just reminders. Earlier feat. Better first serve percentage. Choose bravery over speed. She thought about what the match had demanded, not just technically, but mentally. The discipline to play the same point 100 times. The humility to accept that progress might look like losing, again and again, with purpose. Her first WTA action hadn't given her a win. It had given her a map. Elite tennis, she now understood, was not a destination reached by talent alone. It was a daily decision. To prepare when no one was watching. To compete without fear of exposure. To learn faster than the person across the net. As Tenny Madis zipped her bag and stepped back into the corridor, she felt tired, but sharpened. The door to the elite level hadn't closed behind her.